Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ask a Black Dude. Today, we'll be talking about the Me Too movement essay and live that I did on Facebook. If you have a chance, you do have a chance. I know you have a chance. Go check that out, the Facebook page, Ask a Black Dude, and go check out the Instagram page, ask_a_black_dude at Instagram. Sam, it sucks. It was a process, but go check that out, please. Like I said, today we will be talking about the Me Too movement video that we did, or more of a reaction to that video. And with me today is Sam Paxton. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what? Today the sun is shining in Michigan. We don't have coldness today, so it's not a bad day. I'm glad you are here to join me. You were one of a lot of people who had comments and had helped me really through that Me Too movement live. For those who did not watch, go check it out right now. It's on the YouTube channel, Ask Black Dude YouTube channel. Go check it out. Go watch. Okay. The topic of sexual assault is something that, like we talked about in the live, is still underreported, still not taken seriously for whatever reasons. You watched it, you watched the essay, you watched it live. What were your thoughts as a woman, as a person who, and we can get into it if you want to, but as a person who knows people who have survived sexual assault, what did you think of what was said during the live and during the video?
Well, like I said in the video, a lot of it goes unreported because a lot of people don't believe sometimes on what a woman says. And the numbers, I didn't even know the numbers were that high, but definitely believable. I went out to friends and everything on something that happened to me, and I lost friends, and it even took some family a while to believe on what happened to me. So it's actually kind of a shocker on the numbers that you were saying in the essay. It really is unbelievable.
Yeah, so what she referred to, ladies and gentlemen, go watch it. You know what she's talking about, but if you don't, 63% of sexual assaults are not reported. 81% of women who have experienced sexual assault either have short-term or long-term PTSD. And that, what contributes to that is, like you were saying, is the people don't believe you, right? People, you say, hey, this has happened to me. Someone says, nah, Jimmy couldn't have done that to you for whatever the reasons. And now you're sitting with this trauma and this loss. So with those numbers being out there, I mean, even the 63%, even the 81%, even the 1 out of 6 American women, American woman, female, is sexually assaulted. As crazy as those numbers are, I mean, even those numbers aren't completely accurate, right? I mean, because of what you just said, right?
Right. Yeah. I think a lot of women are afraid to come out and say something too, because it's always in the back of your head, like, well, is this person even going to believe me? Well, what are they going to do if they find out? Like, and then the process of reporting it too. You have to tell your story over and over and over again, and I mean, someone want to just forget about it, which also is very hard because you're going to have PTSD from that. You're gonna go one or two ways. Is what I've kind of read too. You're either going to become extremely sexually active, or you're not going to be.
What does, let me ask a better question, right? I was going to ask a really bad question, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask a better question. You don't get believed, right? What does that added trauma do to a person's psyche, right? What does that added just tragedy, I guess, due to a person's mentals, and how do you just get to the next day, right? Because you have something that's taken from you, right? It's not just so much the sex, right? That's what was said in the video and in the essay, is that it's not just about sex, all right? It's about the control, about the power, about of one person over another, and that was taken from that individual. So what are some of the ways that good or not good, or fortunate, unfortunate, what are some of the ways that people kind of get through the tragedy and trauma of that?
Well, I mean, sometimes you can go to certain people if it's always a gamble though on if you can really come out and talk to this person about it.
Family can be a rough one, right? Because
family, it's a gamble with that. I mean, even friends too. It depends on how they're gonna act with it. Therapy, you could like go to therapy. That actually, me myself, that actually helped me a lot. If you feel like no one is gonna believe you on what you are going to say, or you can try to conquer it. Like, you can try looking at it in a different way. Like, don't let it define who you are. Like you said, it's like about power, about control. So then take that power back and take that control back.
Right.
Sometimes it will fail, but that's all you gotta do. That's life, right?
Well, yeah, right. You have something traumatic and you try to conquer forward and push through it. But as we're trying to get into a better space, and I tried to illustrate that in the video and in the essay. And again, thank you for being on for having this conversation with me. In your mind, what can we do to get better? What can we do as a society to push this to the proper places, right? We've already started with the Me Too movement, but it's kind of become one of those things where, like I said, it's not in the forefront of everyone's mind anymore, right? We tend to do that as a society where, we have the new hotness for a couple of weeks and then it fades away. So, again, what in your mind, in your opinion, what are any ideas, any ways from a woman's perspective? Hey, what can we do so that the next one won't happen?
Well, always travel in groups, always have a bestie, always have a bestie that you can like bring with you, never be alone. And as a society, I feel like we need to look at like when people are coming to you about something serious, maybe like actually believe in them. Even if maybe you don't, like try to help them through a difficult time. You know what I mean? Like as a society, we're very quick to judge, like, well, that girl went to the club, like she wore this, that, and the third, so maybe she did deserve it, but why she deserve it?
Right.
That goes back into that. And like I said, again, traveling in groups, staying strapped too.
I want to shout out everyone from Cheryl to Geneva, to Mindy, to yourself, to Rebecca, everyone who commented on that post that I put on Ask a Black Dude Facebook channel. Basically, I asked the females and ladies, hey, what are some of the things that you have to do as a woman to survive that men don't have to? And man, the comments were crazy, right? You mentioned the traveling groups. Sam was the one, ladies and gentlemen, that says keep that toot on you if you need it. You know what I'm saying? Keep that with the 9+1 hot ones if you need to, right? Yeah, it was crazy to from that to, hey, I have to pull out strands of hair out in an Uber car just in case something happens. They can find my DNA in the car and trace it back. To, hey, I'm going on a date with this person, Ryan, another one. I'm going on a date with this person. Let me tell every soul that I trust that I can that I'm going to be at this place at this time. Right?
It's crazy because I have done that quite a few times, with my sister and my bestie, like, hey, I'm going here, blah, blah. If you don't hear from me, call this number or call the police. This is where I was at. Like, it's crazy that we even have to do that just to make sure that we're safe.
Today's day and age in 2021, we have become a society. People call us politically correct. Come on, brain. People call us snowflakes. People call us all these different things. And I think what's happening is that surprisingly, the last 4 or 5 years, groups of people have seen the power that they hold and have tried and are taking that power and using it to benefit their group, right? And so you see this pushback from men of, like you said, hey, if she didn't want to be assaulted, she shouldn't have worn this. Or, right. if she hadn't said this wouldn't happen. Or if she hadn't got drunk, that wouldn't happen. I had mentioned in the video about a couple examples of men who kind of got away with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
who, you know, you had Austin Wickerson, who didn't serve any jail time. You had Brock Turner, who did not serve any jail time, having assaulted a woman unconsciously. I can
Right.
only imagine as a woman how infuriating that's got to be to
Right.
not just,
And that's why
hey,
I feel like, oh my bad.
no,
That's why
you
I
can
feel like
let.
a lot of people don't report it. Like, you know, in that case scenario, you don't know what kind of lawyers they're gonna have or what
Mhm.
friends of the family they're gonna have that are gonna make you look into this person that you are not. You know, and I feel like, you know, the numbers probably aren't extremely accurate because a lot of people don't come out with it.
And,
A lot of women don't.
and another aspect that they don't come out that I've been told and I've been talked about is like, I mean, excuse the language, folks, but like slut shaming, right? So like people will come out and say, hey,
Yeah.
this happened. They will then take your character and they will drag it through the mud. I know
Mm-hmm.
because I see this with African American men all the time. The George Floyd trial is happening right now at the time of this
Yeah.
recording, and they are taking his character and trying to paint him as this villainish figure, when at the end of the day, what he did prior to those 8 minutes, that means nothing, because in those 8 minutes, he was a black dude with a knee on his neck and he couldn't breathe and he died because of it.
Right.
And it's the same situation with women, right? No matter what her life was before, in that moment, she did not deserve to have her life taken from her. So I know that's got to piss. that is
Oh,
another
yeah.
aspect of it, you know, where it's like you get called the names and you get called the stuff, not just from strangers, but from your own family sometimes, right? Your own friends and family
Right.
sometimes. And it's got to be a terrible situation. So, was there anything else in that video, anything else sexual assault wise that you wanted to touch on, that you wanted to educate me on? Because you did a great job at the time, and I really appreciate it once again. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on real quick to let us know and the public know what we need to do?
I mean, like I said, probably like a million times in this video, like if someone comes to you and tells you like this problem, don't just automatically assume they're lying. You know, actually really try to help somebody through a difficult time. And, you know, and this might be hard for even families too, like to accept what their daughter or their son or, you know, their niece or nephew are going to come and tell them, like, you know, you need to help them through a difficult time.
Mm.
No matter what age. You never know what's going to happen at what age. So as a society, that's all I really got to say. You know, actually really try to be there for people. Kindness goes a long way in this world, and actually listening to somebody goes an extremely long way.
Well, those are you know what? Those are powerful words. Simple, yet powerful. I mean, you hit on the age. You know what was crazy about it was the, you know, 12 to 14 average age of girls that get into prostitution, all those different things. I mean, I could go through all the numbers again, and it would just
Or
completely
watch the video.
But go watch it, Sam. Go watch the video. So we've touched on that. Now
Touched on that.
we touched on that. Now, Sam, you left downriver. For those who do not know, Sam is originally from southeastern Michigan. She left for various reasons, and she settled in Virginia. So, Sam, tell me, how difficult was that transition going from the north to the south, middle south, where they don't have snow like they have it up here?
All right. Well, the snow sucks. First off, like didn't realize how bad till you move somewhere where it rarely snows. And when
Right.
it snows here, it's like everything's shut down. So it's like a snow day for adults too. It's wonderful. But first off, I do have to give a special shout out to my sister and my brother-in-law that have gave me this opportunity of moving out here. And I mean, completely changing my life. You know, completely changing my life. And I gotta give them a special thank you for that. So thanks, sis. Thanks, brother-in-law.
Go ahead.
The transition was hard at first, but you know, like I knew I had my sister there, my niece, you know, so it kind of and I transferred jobs, which that actually was a big help too. I work at PetSmart, so that like, you know, you could travel anywhere with there. So with me moving and going to a new job, I mean, the people I work with are absolutely amazing. Like actually I still work with some of these people 8 years later. They made me feel right at home. So that really helped. And that really just shows the character here in Virginia versus Detroit. the people here are very welcoming. They're very nice. There are the oddballs. We all have those, but
Right.
the people's demeanor in Detroit is very rude, and you really don't see it until you leave and you go down south, and you'll see it at your gas stations, your grocery stores, your restaurants even. It's really crazy on how different it is.
Do you
And
contribute
actually, my
that?
original.
Do you
Go
contribute
ahead.
that? Do you contribute that to where it snows 8 months out of the year up in the north and down there in Virginia? If it has a half inch of snow, y'all shut the state down like I've never seen
Oh
snow
yeah,
before.
yeah.
Could
Shut
that
it
be
down.
contributing to that? How angry we are up here?
Oh, I love it. I love it. So I text my parents all the time, right? When I know you guys are getting a snowstorm, I'm like, "Ooh, it's sunny here." I'm walking around in tank top, like,
Oh,
I love it. But then when it snows here, this is crazy though, because when it snows here, people here are like, "Oh, the snow is so pretty. I'm so excited for the snow." And of course, me being from Michigan, I'm like, "Yeah, no, not dealing with that." But people here love it when they actually do get it. Um, and it's gone within like a couple of days. So, they don't got to deal with like all that slush and grossness and the horrible looking snow after a while. Like,
all you see is the hateration, holleration, and this dancery on my face. That's all you see is all the anger
that's
stuff.
all I see.
Because every time it snow up in here, it's not going a couple of days. It's going a couple of weeks, and it usually come with 10-degree weather up there. Just to let everybody know, Sam also sends me pictures of her backyard when it's all sunny outside. I just, we have our own situations of anger and stuff. So you mentioned the people and how more pleasant they are. Is that the only difference between the area that you're at in Virginia and where you grew up, or where we grew up in Downriver in that Metro Detroit area?
Yeah. So, people that don't know me, I am in interracial relationship. I like my chocolate brothers. How people in Detroit kind of acted, believe it or not, was more aggressive than it is here in Virginia. It is actually a little bit more acceptable. The area that I'm from, however, like now, if you go more down south, maybe not so much, but here people are way more accepting about it, and you actually see it everywhere, really, really everywhere. So it's nice to kind of feel a little more accepted here for that reason too.
So you haven't experienced that. I'm not going to say outwardly prejudice, because that, not saying we are not in the 50s and 60s and 70s like we were, right? But you still have situations of out prejudice and out racism and stuff like that. But what you're saying is that you haven't experienced that. Hey, I'm out in public with a black dude, African American dude. What you're saying is you've experienced less pushback down there in Virginia than you have up here in Downriver.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, I actually did a study on it in high school about the whole interracial relationship. There, I did a study of like just walking around Walmart, just holding hands or whatever, maybe an occasional kiss, not not the gross PTA. We don't need any of that. And when I was there, like the looks that you would get from people, I mean, I've even had like an older lady flick me off one time, and you can feel it. Like, people look at you a certain way. But here in Virginia, everyone says hi on the street.
Man,
And
that is completely interesting, even for me, because at least I have a certain outlook of the South, and being a historian of the South that I am, to hear that is particularly interesting. Glad to hear it though. Glad to hear the fact that you're able to have your love, whatever your love is, and you ain't gotta worry about that, because that's that's definitely a topic that I will do on Ask Black Dude. The interracial dynamic, where you have it's really interesting dynamic when it's a Caucasian woman and a black male, right? Because you get the dynamic of the African American woman being really angry at seeing that coupling, that it expands reasons that would just take another hour in our conversation to hit. But
you sound like a robot.
oh, do I? You're breaking up. You froze. Hold on. Let's pause it. Woo! Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen, but now we're back. So, you know, you move down there. You say you're having, you know, a good situation career-wise, moving forward on that, making boss women moves. You know, it's always my dream to leave this area. I mean, I have traveled. I've lived temporarily in different areas, but do you suggest everybody who's been in this area to just get out and just dip for at least a little bit?
Yes, I totally recommend it. Even if it's for a vacation, I mean, you got to get out of Michigan. There's a big whole wide world out there, and the people there, you'll notice the difference once you start traveling. And definitely recommend maybe seeing an ocean. It's definitely different than lakes.
Right.
I mean, if you have an opportunity to leave and to start over, I recommend that for everybody, because it really was a life changer for me. You know, I never thought that I would, you know, be on my own and have all my own things and not really have to rely on anybody. And it is really a great feeling. And if that is what you're looking for in your life, you know, you got to start somewhere. So,
oh, I like that. Dismount, starting over, getting the fresh start, or, you know what I'm saying, you can leave all the BS behind. Sam, Pastor, thank you for joining us. I don't know why I clap like that. I'll probably edit it out. Let's do that again. Sam, thank you for joining me on Ask Black Dude.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your input. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition. I'm not professional, but I'm getting better. This is another edition of Ask Black Dude. If you like this video and any other videos on the channel, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that stuff. Again, you can catch me on Ask a Black Dude Facebook page, where I do lives about different topics and stuff. You can catch me on Instagram at ask_a_black_dude_. I will figure it out so it's not so complicated. But thank you once again, Sam. Thank you once again. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell so you'll be up on the newest videos coming up. I'm trying to get a good, consistent schedule going. So, see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.